What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the Film Bros podcast. Who knows what episode? I think we shouldn't count anymore.
It's great to be back.
It's great to be back. We look a bit fresher. You know, we got a whole new setup. We each have our own microphone now.
Yep.
Big microphone in the industry.
Yes, sir.
I did some research.
Who else uses this?
I think Joe Rogan. I think Call Her Daddy.
What?
You never heard of that podcast?
Call me daddy?
Call Her Daddy. It's a big deal.
That sounds...
Either way, it doesn't matter. We're back.
What's his name? The dude on the podcast. He goes, hey, could you pull this up? Daniel?
Jamie.
Yes. Jamie, could you tell me how good these mics are, man?
We got some new lighting.
Yeah.
We got no Jamie, though.
No Jamie.
Sorry. Yet. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring him over this way.
How long has it been?
It's been too long. It's been a while. The reason being, I was on a service trip to Ghana for like 6 months. Why are you laughing?
No, go ahead.
That's fucked up, man.
Nah, why?
I had a great time.
What?
Did a lot of good for the community.
When did you go to Ghana?
For the 6 months I haven't been here. What have you been doing? What have you been up to?
I went to Vietnam.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good. I helped a lot of children.
Did they need help?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you help with?
People in Ghana need help?
That might.
They might. You were there.
I know.
So what'd you help them with? DJ
used to work at Peacock, and Peacock recently put out a film. Just to give you a breakdown of what's going on today, we're talking about 3 new movies. They're newish. They're kind of old now, but this is like our prequel to coming back. You know, this is the tease.
You get a gift of another review and a typical 2 movie review. You're getting 3.
That's right. And the first of them is Halloween Ends, a film put out by Peacock.
That isn't part of the gift, but we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. I saw this movie when it opened, and if you are a longtime fan, you probably remember we talked about Halloween Kills, the sequel to the 2018 Halloween movie. I liked Halloween Kills. A lot of people don't, DJ being one of them.
You liked Halloween Kills?
You don't remember our whole conversation of why I liked it? I had a good enough time. Okay. It's not a great movie. It's not going to be in the IMDb top 250, but it was a fun time for what it was.
Right.
And I liked the 2018 one. And I was interested to see with David Gordon Green, Dan McBride, the whole team, what they were going to do. Because Halloween ends, and it does end a bit. You know, it was a movie that we're going to go into spoilers because it's way past Halloween. It's borderline Thanksgiving at this point.
Yeah.
And the reason we brought the podcast back, the sole reason was this guy, Corey Robbins.
You motherfucker.
Commented on our Letterboxd review, or at least my Letterboxd review. He said, this sounds like it would have been a fun conversation on the podcast between you and TJ.
TJ?
Just saying.
TJ, nigga.
Maybe they...
TJ.
Maybe they hear...
A, and B, you are the reason why we're doing this. I didn't want to watch the movie.
Shout out you, Corey.
I didn't want to watch it. But because of you, he saw it. And because of him, I'm here. So thank you. That sincerely and sarcastically.
Do you think it's the South Jersey accent that they think it's a T and not a D?
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
D'Angelo. Like T'Challa.
D'Angelo. Middle name. J. Starts with a J. DJ. But we didn't have good mics before.
Right.
So maybe, I don't blame you. Mm-hmm. Now you can clearly hear it. DJ.
So me and TJ here, we watched Halloween Ends. And I really hope it ends after this one.
Yeah, man. Let's it's been a hot minute since we've done these. Let's how you want to do this? You want to?
I don't even. I'm so washed up and rusted.
Yeah,
that I don't even know how to run a podcast anymore.
Yeah,
but I will say, the last thing I would do with the third film in the Halloween reboot trilogy is not make it about Michael Myers or Laurie Strode. And if I was gonna do the last thing you probably should do, it's make it about this kid named Corey. Is it Corey or Gary? I think it's Corey.
It's the nigga who commented?
No. Is it? I don't know. I thought it was a Corey in the movie. Wow. There's levels to this.
Let's oh man. Let's see. It's been a minute. I saw the movie a while ago. We're in the process of setting up this whole thing. So it's been a hot minute. I told Chase we should have probably did the day after because I was heated. I was ready to fucking fight somebody. But now I feel those feelings coming back because my fear was that I was going to lose it for your entertainment. And now I'm thinking about it. They're reigniting. And so let's break this shit down for a second. I'll go ahead and I'll take lead.
We're gonna agree for once, I think.
So let's talk about our general consensus. You did not like it.
It's one of the worst movies I might have ever seen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's really. Now, we haven't done this podcast in a while, and I've been on the record for the year to DJ personally that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Which is kind of wild.
Definitely up there. Really bad. Almost as bad as Thor Love and Thunder. They're pretty much neck and neck.
That's the wild part, that you prefer Thor Love and Thunder.
I don't prefer either. This is my point.
Okay.
I was really disappointed with both. We'll get to Marvel later, though.
Right.
I didn't think anything would top either of them this year in terms of blockbuster filmmaking, but yet here we are. Here's the craziest part. I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of introducing new ideas into the Halloween franchise. They did Season of the Witch, which I don't like that much, but it's different.
Season of the Witch.
That's the third Halloween movie, the OG Halloween movie, where there's no Michael Myers, but you knew from the start there's no Michael Myers. It's all about like these kids, they're buying masks and this whole company. It's this big movie that ambitious, not for me.
Right.
I liked the idea of it. Could have been better. Apparently, there's interviews of John Carpenter out there, and when he originally came up with the idea for Halloween, he never wanted it to be only Michael Myers. He wanted different killers to come in and have different elements that they could always incorporate, but Michael Myers has become this pretty much godlike figure in horror filmmaking that now we're here. So, I'm not entirely opposed to the idea if done well. I am opposed to the idea when there's an hour of no Michael Myers, and it's an hour of this kid trying to fuck Jamie Lee Curtis's granddaughter, and they have terrible chemistry, and he's just getting beat up by the high school band.
All right.
How are you 24 years old getting beat up by the high school band? I think that's the biggest concern of the film. I don't understand. And yet he becomes Michael Myers. Don't really understand what's going on here.
Okay. I'm gonna continue venting. Go ahead. Because I'm
not mad. It's been a month.
Right.
I got in the elevator with the guy. It was me, Olivia, Adam, and two people dressed all head to toe goth, really into this. And I just see the guy shake his head. And I just go, "You didn't like it, huh?" He turns around and said, "Nah." And then they got off the elevator. I don't know who this movie's for. It's definitely not for me, though.
It's for people like you who like Halloween Kills.
No, see, this is the thing. Let's take that back for a second. You know why I like Halloween Kills?
Why?
Because it goes the most in on the slasher movie thing where it's just ridiculous kills the whole time. The whole movie's ridiculous. They're chasing around a wrong Michael Myers, which I thought was fun.
For like 30
DJ
fucking
didn't find
minutes,
was
even
fun.
though we knew that it wasn't Michael Myers.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna do it.
At least it had the fire scene. He's killing the fireman.
Right.
That was cool.
Cool.
When he kicks the door and the girl shoots herself in the head.
Absolutely insane.
Insane.
Right.
There was a lot of shit like that in that movie that I had a fun time.
Right.
I walked out of the theater. Sometimes you go to a movie to think. Sometimes you go to a movie to cry.
Right.
Sometimes you go to a movie to have a fun time.
Yeah.
And Halloween Kills gave me the fun time, and I was hoping I would get that with this.
You didn't.
I didn't. No, I did like the ending. Not the ending. I hated the ending. I liked the opening.
Brother, you almost... Okay.
Sketch myself out.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the opening scene, paint the picture. This is all spoilers if you couldn't tell. You get the new kid. Is it Corey?
Cool. I believe it's...
We're going to go with Corey.
I was going to check it, but...
So Corey's babysitting.
Go ahead. You talk.
Didn't know that was a thing anymore. I feel like parents just kind of abandon their children, but I guess there's room for babysitters in today's day and age. And the mom tells him like, "Oh, he's scared of Michael Myers, blah, blah, blah." And this kid's watching this little kid.
It's fucking you, brother.
It is Corey.
It's fucking you.
It's all coming full circle.
Use the nigga. Yo. All right, continue.
Corey's babysitting some kid. Long story short, he kills the kid. But it's building up like it's Michael Myers is going to come out. It's going to be this crazy opening, but Michael Myers is in hibernation mode in this movie.
Right.
And that's kind of the start of Corey's villainous story, like an accident.
Right.
I guess they're trying to say that fear creates paranoia that puts blame on other people.
Right.
Really bad, though, in the worst way possible. Because you have this kid that belongs on the CW, should probably be playing like Flash's brother or something, not in a Hollywood feature film. And you watch the first hour of this movie, and you wouldn't know it's a Halloween movie.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is not the worst thing, but it's up there. Mm-hmm. To me, this is like the Last Jedi effect of Halloween movies, which we're not Last Jedi people here, but it has that same effect for me. But what are you thinking general basis so far?
General basis, man. General basis, it is it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I have so many things that I want to say in the most calmest way I possibly can.
Don't be calm.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Like halfway through this. And I was recapping it because after I was so mad I needed to talk to somebody. Halfway through the movie, I found myself fidgeting. Like, come on, bro. Like, this shit needs to something needs to happen. And I was recapping it to my girlfriend because I was venting it out. And about halfway to 3/4 into my review, she goes, "Where's Michael Myers?" And I go, "Fucking exactly." So my general consensus, without going into details as of yet, in a very fuming way, it's terrible for the reasons because, well, one, the Halloween saga is you do have a Michael Myers. Now, this new saga with these new sequels, you're supposed to be looking forward to the Michael Myers. We do get a Michael Myers. We don't get the Michael Myers. And that is its fucking problem, is that not only do we not get the Michael Myers, but the Michael Myers is some pussy ass fucking scrawny ass dude who's throwing around the Michael Myers like he's a fucking rag doll. And like, bro, I'm about to start. It's just like the nigga's in the sewers, like he's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He's just living down there. And my biggest gripe with this movie was that everyone seemed to be at the right place at the right fucking time. At the beginning, this kid just so happened to be right where the door fucking hits him, and then he falls, and I'm like, oh shit, cool. I was like, that's a dope opening. I was expecting Michael Myers. It suppressed my my expectations. I was like, okay, so this is centered around him, sure, cool. And then it fast forwards, and then you have these fucking high school ass kids just bullying this guy. Grown ass man pushes him, like fucking foot-inch glass gets into his
from
fucking
like a
hand.
chocolate milk or whatever he had.
From fucking Yoo-hoo. Because this nigga likes drinking milk. And they push him. That shit goes into his hand. And then they're like, like this nigga got fucking glass in his hand. And then Lori comes and goes, kids, hey, how about you pick on someone your own size, huh? And then they leave just like, come on, puts her hand out. Come on, kid, come on. Yeah, it looks like you got, hurt. Bitch, I got fucking, you saw how long that shard of glass was?
It was pretty long.
And she just so happened to be at the same gas station as this place. And then she just so happens to take him to the hospital. And then he gets into the argument with the girl at the fucking club. And the mother just so happens to be at the fucking club. And then he's walking home. And of all the places, the kids just so happen to be driving down the road next to him, and then he falls down. And of all the places, he just so happens to fall down where Michael Myers is fucking living. It's so many coincidences to what you call it? To project the plot, and then we're not getting anything from this man. We're not doing nothing. This dumb bitch, the fucking daughter, it's like, oh, Ma, you don't understand. First off, this nigga's killing people. And she's like, I get it. Killers will be killers. And at the ending, she's like, I knew he was killing people. So you fucking knew? And so we get all of that. And then, bro, my biggest gripe from Halloween Kills is that no one aims for the head. They had every opportunity to fucking stab him in the head.
Which Michael Myers?
The Michael Myers.
The Michael Myers.
When he showed up for his 5 fucking minutes at the ending, they do she fucking stabs his hands, stabs his legs, pins him to the fucking counter, and she goes and slits his throat. Nigga is still alive, and then they slit his wrists. I don't know. How about you put the knife in his head? You've already done the absolute most. And then it's such a terrible abode to the character to just have this town, at least for me, to just put him in the town's tree grinder.
Where else are you gonna put him? Where else do you put this guy?
Like the town's just like, yeah, you know, we're having an execution at 12 a.m. Be there. Dude, it neglected the whole, like, this kid who we don't give two shits about because we know what he's doing. So I don't know what they want for us to do. It's like for us to root for him.
I wouldn't say they want you to root for him. He's not a likable guy after a while.
You're right.
Which was the most confusing part of the movie because they want
us to feel some kind of way.
There's a good movie here if you put Barry Keoghan in that role.
Oh, no.
There's a good movie in here. I have I do have a problem with the way they handled it, but the kid being a terrible actor makes it 10 times worse, I think. Not to make you feel bad, but it's one of the worst performances of the past 5 years.
It's terrible. They built this whole movie for him. He's just tossing around our Michael Myers around, like, and you're like, okay, where the fuck? Lori is like, I can see it. Like her suspicion comes from because I looked into his eyes.
That's not enough proof for you?
Chase, I can look into your bro. You have the same eyes as fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. I know you're Jeffrey Dahmer, bro. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't like what they did with Lori with that. I don't like what they did with her at all. She's making like a pull out your tits jokes, and it's very
they made her a very like
out of left field. Like I get Jamie Lee Curtis
2000s mom,
yeah, but it doesn't really fit with the character they were building in the last two movies.
A hardcore vet that she was deemed crazy for 20 years to prep for his arrival, and he comes and she's like fucking ready. Now it's like, I'm writing a book, and they're trying to push this romance between these two old ass people.
That was weird. It came out of nowhere.
He drops vegetables at her fucking doorstep.
Right. It's like, it's so awkward. Did not like anything to do with that. And I don't even know that actor's name. I know he's super familiar. Damn, why is this name slipping me?
Something but August?
I don't think it's that. I don't think it is. Yeah, that was bad. Every romance in here was bad. And I don't know why Halloween needs to feel the need to focus on this after what made the first two good was like Michael Myers was back in a menacing fashion, regardless if you don't like them or not. I liked how in Kills, the ending of Kills, they're all stabbing this guy 50,000 times, and he still gets up. And I said, okay, like the
dude has a gun.
Dude has a gun. Maybe they're gonna introduce some sort of supernatural thing here. Like I don't know how you explain how this guy's getting up, but I can't wait to see how it ends and Halloween ends. And now he's just an old man in the sewer that has like liver cancer, and this kid comes on and he beats him up and he says, "Teach me everything you know." And then Michael Myers is just like, does he call him a pussy?
He says, "Get up, pussy."
I don't remember that. I was in Dolby. It was too loud. I guess the P peaked the audio. There was just nothing in this movie that made me go, this is a good idea.
There is one thing that I like, and this transitions me into something I want to discuss with you, but the kills. There's one kill that I liked.
Is there any
It unfortunately came from the fucking kid, from Corey. Sorry. But it was when Corey bashes the radio host's head into the to the record player, I think it is, and his whole jaw's coming off. I thought that was cool.
I didn't think any of it was cool. I thought all the kills were bad, especially compared to Halloween Kills, where they were all good.
I tried.
I didn't have fun with this. I would say this was, if there's an anti-fun movie, this is it.
And there was no kills that you liked.
No.
I don't even, how many kills were there? Any kills coming from this kid was just like, I feel like the kills were okay, but the fact that it was coming not from Michael Myers just made it like, why?
The kid that died by accident was cool.
When the fucking kid gets into the car and rams first off, when you are running away from something, there is left and right directions. Mm-hmm. They continue going straight. First bitch jumps the fence. Second bitch is too big, so she can't. Gets jammed underneath the car. First bitch comes to let the second bitch go. Dies. The dude then comes and tries to let her go. Dies. Then the fucking owner comes, like they're all piling up in this one spot, like he's fucking camping, like it's Call of Duty or some shit. And then burns the guy in front of the girl while she's under the fence, and it's just assumed that he killed the girl. But that whole death scene was stupid. Like they just kept running straight. That's it.
I don't even remember that. That's when he kills all of them, right? All the band people?
Every single one.
And his dad dies or something?
Yeah. Shoots him. The kid.
Oh. See, I saw this a month ago and I forget pretty much everything. Except that it's a terrible
tries
idea.
To shoot Corey, but then inadvertently, accidentally pinpoint shoots the father square through the fucking head.
It was a bullseye. That thing was marksman-like quality.
Yeah.
Corey is a terrible character. It's a terrible choice. But I thought there would still be redemption here because you have the ending of the Michael Myers and Laurie Strode saga, which was clearly the intention from the beginning when John Carpenter made the first movie that would be lasting this long. But I expected a cool-ish fight scene with like all this buildup and how much I enjoyed Halloween and Halloween Kills, not Ends. The build up to the final fight, I start to feel it. After the Corey kid dies, but then comes back and then really dies, I was like, okay, some shit's about to go down. You know, they're going to finally deliver the goods. And I can't believe a franchise that's lasted 40 plus years, maybe 50 at this point, ends in the way that it does with this fight in the kitchen. Super lame. Lasts like 2-3 minutes, maybe 4 if you're stretching everything out when they're stabbing him and like locking him into the table.
It is canon now.
And then they just grind him up. And that's kind of
that's it.
The whole movie kind of just feels a little, why are we sitting here?
And the whole theme of the film was like this vengeance. Like, you know, if you start holding this kind of resentment towards people or this vengeance, like it's going to be taken out. And I thought the whole premise was fucking stupid because at the beginning, first off, Laurie recaps in narration style the whole thing.
I hate when
movies
do this.
And it was absolutely the minute that started, I said, oh my God, no.
Yep.
So that happens. And then she also starts, I hate when they start narrating like the recap and then go into, okay, now here's where we are, which is what she ends up doing. She's like, yeah, my daughter's dead. And Michael Myers disappeared. It's been 2 years, and I'm writing a book. What? So she ends up doing that, and then, oh man, what was the point I was trying to make? I fucking went on a tangent. It had to deal with the beginning of this. Oh, she explains that the townspeople are killing themselves, committing suicide, because out of fear of either, which I couldn't comprehend, out of fear of either Michael Myers not being around, so they're scared that he'll come for them, or because that there's no threat of a Michael Myers anymore. And then it goes into this whole side plot of like the townspeople don't have anyone to hate anymore, so they're just hating on this babysitter killer, and that's the theme of why he turns into Michael Myers. That shit is so stupid. It is not necessary. It's dumb. It's dumb, Chase. And you know, the anatomy, I love horror movies, you know? I really do. And the anatomy of horror, you know, are you familiar with the Uncanny Valley? Where there's like robot, human, and then there's like that middle point where you just can't really distinguish whether if it's human qualities or robotic qualities. And that's something that a lot of people are afraid of.
Okay.
So, you know, the whole distinguishing thing, like Freddy Krueger is like human, but he kind of dabbles, like you're like, what the fuck is he? And that's what all these slasher are kind of based around. And Michael Myers is human, but you don't quite know whether if he's human because he has these supernatural characteristics to him. And that's what made him so cool. Like back then, it's like this could be anybody, and they could just walk in your house and just kill you. But he was a little bit above average than your peak human. So the reason I'm getting into this is because it was just the mystery of like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, is it a thing? Is it a person? And I guess I can give it that we still don't know because they never really reveal it other than his fucking face. But to have that mantle passed down to this wimpy ass kid and to try to give us an origin story and to try to force down our throats an understanding of why he is becoming Michael Myers is fucking stupid.
It's a weird thing to do in a third final movie. You know?
Yeah.
If this was the approaching Kills, I still would not like it. But at least I would be like, where is this going?
Would you have liked it? See, because what kills it for me, like, if it was a passing of the mantle, I wouldn't have been happy, but it would have been better. But the fact that it looked like a passing of the mantle and then that fucking
and then
person
it just happens.
and then he just dies.
He just dies. There's no point.
So what was the point?
There's no point. There's no setup. I thought the same thing.
Would you have liked it if it was a passing of the mantle and we've gotten an origin story to our new Michael Myers?
I was so deep into hating this movie that when they killed the kid they were building up a whole movie around, I said, the joke's on me.
When he fucking when he killed him, what did he do? He like stomped on him?
I forget. I
said, what?
I'm telling you, I'm kind of rusty on this movie because it's been a month and I've pretty much gotten rid of everything about it in my head. I don't remember any of the kills. I think it's that forgettable of a movie. There's still parts of Halloween 2018. I remember like the bathroom scene at the gas station.
Yeah.
Shit's crazy.
That is solid, man.
Kills has the fucking kick the door and yeah, I remember a lot of that movie. It's
the
been
one shot of him going into the fucking back houses and all of that. What happened? What's the studio? Universal?
It is yes, it is Universal.
What the fuck happened, Universal? What happened? What happened in that writing room?
They put all the effort into the Heart Nights house this year. It's a cool house. If you went to Orlando.
What fucking what's his name? What's his name?
What the fuck are you doing?
What's the fucking dude?
Oh, The Weeknd.
The Weeknd
Had a cool house. We're not going to change the subject of this.
You know, I've spoken everything I could. There's nothing cinematography to talk about. There's nothing lighting to talk about. There's nothing audio to talk about. The dialogue was shit. The pacing was shit. Everything was shit. So unless you have something to talk about, I'm ready to move on to the next movie.
You know what? David Gordon Green, good for you. You busted your ass for years.
Who? What's his name?
David Gordon Green, the director.
Fuck you.
Needed a paycheck, you know? Sometimes you're so fucking sick and tired of working, but you're this far deep and you need a check. I think this one lost a lot of money. It had one of the biggest drop-offs in the second weekend ever because I think so many people hated this movie. I think it's kind of like beating a dead horse. I'm a month out. I'd be more passionate about it if I was just out of theater because I could not even comprehend
saw this shit last
the
week.
choices that were made. Where do you think the franchise goes from here?
I don't get Bro.
Do you think they bring Michael Myers back? Do you think it's a different Michael Myers? Do you think they go for a different killer?
I think that man, I don't know, man. They really closed a lot of ends with this. Halloween really does end. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they could do. And if they do find out a way to do something else, you know, they could maybe find another killer. I don't think it'll be a Michael Myers because he's dead. If it is a Michael Myers, then it's like a reboot with different characters and different origin, kind of like how they've done with the Friday the 13th movies and such. I won't be in it. I'm not. There's like, you know, Michael Myers has been the guy, so that's the only way I see them doing this is like a reboot. What, they're gonna get a fucking new Bob Dylan?
They might.
Bob Dylan is the fucking.
They might. You never know.
I'm not in it. This has killed the whole franchise for me.
You don't think you're gonna get excited when 6 years from now they announce all these franchises like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Chucky's got a sci-fi show, Jason just got a A24 show. You don't think they're all going to collab?
I don't think slasher movies are the move anymore.
But what if they become the move when they all collaborate into one big movie?
Oh, you know,
because they had Freddy vs. Jason.
That could happen, and it was a while ago. And we are in an era of like studio collaborations and crossovers.
We're in an era where everyone likes to make money.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that's not at least a $600 million idea? Sorry.
If that happens, I will be right there in that seat.
We'll see. I'm actually pretty excited for the Friday the 13th A24 show. And I heard the Chucky show on Sci-Fi is actually pretty good.
I've seen a couple clips. Yeah, it does look good.
So maybe they plan to do something like that. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis comes back.
No.
Because she's already returned twice. She returned for H2O 20 years later, and then she came back 40 years later for this. I think she's kind of tapped out of this one. I don't think we're seeing the end of Michael Myers. I don't think the franchise is going to continue off of these sequels. I think, if anything, we're going to look at more of a Rob Zombie approach again. Not like that it's brutal, but a whole new universe of Michael Myers, I think we'll end up getting because the character makes too much money. That being said, fascinating ending to a weird reboot trilogy. Like I said, it's been a month for me. Been a while, bit rusty, but definitely one of the worst movies I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
I like the opening scene. I thought the opening scene was legitimately well done. And when the opening credits started, I was like, I'm curious to see where this goes. Okay. But I did not like where it went. I did not really fully understand where it was setting up. I don't think they really fully understood what they were going. This movie had 4 writers. I think you could really tell because there's a lot of different things going on and a lot of different ideas being thrown around. Personally, for me, very skippable movie. I would give it like a 2 out of 10. Terrible.
2 out of 10.
I give it a 1 because I give it 1 point. 1 to me is the worst. I don't go 0. 1 would be the worst.
Right.
I give it maybe like a 1.5. I like the opening scene.
Okay.
I like one thing.
Okay. I gave my boy Anthony my rating, and he has known me now for 8 years. And he, quote, "I've never heard you give a movie rating that low."
Okay.
This is a 1 out of 10.
There you go.
This is a 1 out of 10, bro. You get the 1 for fucking existing. That's what you get. That's it. I cannot remember the last time I've been this pissed off with such terrible garbage writing. And it even more so gives it that low of a rating. Not because because if this was a one-off thing, I would have been like, yo, this is just laughable. But to take a series and to fucking put it on the bottom of your boot and just scrape that shit against the concrete like they did in that writing room, it is an absolute
menace to society.
Menace and disrespect to what this character that you've built up to be. It's absolutely a 1 out of 10 for me.
Fair enough. And with that being said, there's some other bad movies that have come out that people think are bad. Maybe some people here think differently. We'll see. DC has done a lot of crazy things since we last talked about them. Yeah. Last time we talked about them, our last video was on the Batman.
Yeah.
And since they have hired James Gunn and Peter Safran, I believe is their guy's name, to co-run DC Studios. Yeah. And I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens with DC over the next 10 years. But right now they're in a phase of they have to release whatever they made. That you got to put out the stuff you put money into. So the first, technically, I guess, of their movies, even though their deal went into effect November 1st, is Black Adam, which is trying, I guess, to serve as a weird reboot / not of the DCEU. Like they're claiming this is the first step into creating the new version of this universe they want to make. A lot is still up in the air as of recording this podcast. That being said, I was definitely not looking forward to this movie. I think DCEU films in particular, not that I think DC is a bad studio, but I do think they're putting out a lot of bad movies. They have gotten better, I would say. I think if we're looking at hits, they've had the Batman, they've had Joker, which are the one-off ones. They did the Snyder Cut, which they got bullied into making. I didn't really like Suicide Squad. A lot of people did. A lot of people love Peacemaker. I know DJ's a Peacemaker fan. So DC, they've been trying. They've been trying to get their shit together. And Black Adam feels like the movie that probably would have started the universe off. Like this feels like a 2009 movie. It's got Stronger by Kanye for Needle Drops. It's got Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the lead role. And I thought Black Adam was always a villain from what I understood, but I guess he's an anti-hero. I guess maybe that's how it is in the comics. I don't really know. DJ's the comic guy here. Went into the movie expecting a terrible movie. Walked out with, in my opinion, a bad movie that I had fun with. I think there's a lot of fun in this movie. More fun than I had in Thor and Doctor Strange this year, in my opinion.
Wow.
I did have a better time. You know, there's a couple things that happened. I was like, okay, that's fun. You know, there's a lot of really bad shit. We'll get into one character in particular for sure. Not to jump the gun, but there's a child here.
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah. There's a child in this movie.
Speaking of children.
Speaking of children and James Gunn, there is a child in this movie. I don't know if that's what swayed James to come over this way, if he put out a tweet about it, but here we are.
Man.
And Black Adam is Black Adam.
Oh my God. You just reminded me, right? This fucking kid.
Oh, you forgot about the kid.
I did.
No, of course. What do you mean? He starts a revolution.
Oh my God, bro.
Let's get into the bad first then. How about that?
Okay.
Because you liked the movie.
Yeah.
Overall.
I thought, yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I did like it. It's like you said, it's fun. I had a drink to it. I was like, man, I'm about to sip on something. And it was fun. It was a huge ass CGI fest. Nothing that, at least from my perspective, maybe with things here and there, but nothing inherently bad. But no, yeah, it was fun. But yeah, let's talk about this goddamn kid. What's you remember this kid's name? If you don't, won't hold it against you.
James Gunn's child.
James Gunn's child. So James Gunn's child, you know, ever since he was young, he liked skateboarding. He loves to skateboard. He loves his skateboard. And so, you know, whether it be through wind or rain, sleet or snow, this fucking kid will skateboard his way out of any situation. And we see that time and time again. There are instances when you say, wow, you probably could have gotten further on foot. But oh no. Not this.
What do you mean? You can't zip line with your hands or your feet?
No, but you sure as hell can run faster than you can skate.
You have to use it as a zip line. The kid was onto something. There's a shot, again, spoilers. There's a shot of this movie.
The kid, he opens up the chute to grab this artifact. Before he grabs the artifact, he throws his skateboard down.
Of course, you're not going to take the skateboard away from him. That skateboard's going to kick Superman's ass in the next movie.
Does he hit anybody with it?
Of course he does. It's a weapon.
Oh my!
It's a weapon. It's a zip line. When
it's his multi-tool.
This kid starts a revolution in
with his skateboard.
What's this nation called? Talakant? No, that's the Black Panther.
That's Black Panther. Another movie that was fucked up.
Yeah. Well, how's it fucked up? I'm just guessing.
That's DC. Marvel.
Doesn't this one begin with a T? What's this one called? Yeah, that's fucked up. I thought you knew it. As if I got it wrong. So many random nations that are made up for these comic books. I know it's supposed to be like Egyptian, somewhere in the Middle East.
I don't know. I don't know the name of this place.
Well, the name of this place has a revolution started by this kid, and there's a shot in this movie. I could not stop laughing. So he pretty much is giving this whole speech on how these people need to rise up with Black Adam and defeat Satan.
Kondak. Yeah, Kondak.
Whatever it is.
Kondak.
And this kid is in Kondak and tells people, hey, we got to step up to beat the devil here.
The devil.
The literal devil. Who I'm no Ancestry.com pro, but he claims he's got blood from the king from like 20,000 years ago. I don't think it goes back that far. Personally, you know that they don't even. How do you even track that? I call bullshit. But this kid, again, he inspires the revolution,
right?
And then like some action's happening, and you know the battle's about to be lost against the army of Spy Kids skeletons as they're rising up out of the ground, and you're like, man, Black Adam and the Justice League too, Justice Society,
Justice Society.
Justice Society
You
can't.
just call them the Justice League Part 2.
Is that B team? What else are they called? It's too similar. But
Right.
either way, they can't handle the skeletons. So who can? This kid comes around the corner on his skateboard with the nation of Talokan, right? Not Talokan. What's this one called?
Kondok.
And they come out and they save the day. But the kid is a terrible actor. And
Kid was a terrible actor. He was just annoying, dude.
And I get
they need to know when to fucking stop. That scene where they go in that underwater base. Oh no, it's not. It's just in the base. It's to go and save the kid. And the mom is like running these heroes like, I'm not doing nothing until we go save my son. And so they're like, all right, let's go. Dr. Fate, which we'll get to in a minute. Dr. Fate, you was fired, bro. You got Dr. Fate, you got Atom Smasher, you got all these heroes just popping up into this base. And then you got one random ass mother with a fucking gun. Bitch, what are you doing in a room of supervillains and heroes? Get out. What are you doing? And then there's this banter between this kid and this mom where the kid's like, no, Mom, I can do it. And the mom's like, stay out of it. And he's, fuck you. And leaves with his skateboard. It's just annoying. Like, step out. Know your role as a human being. You are in a room of gods. Sorry about that.
Hey, but the whole point of the movie is any human could stand up for what's right. And killing is good. It's the theme of the film.
Killing is good.
There's many times where I figured, okay, I understand the point of violent protesting to get what you want. I agree. Should be done.
Hold on.
But it comes to the point where it just feels like the message of the kids movie.
Sorry, Black Lives Matter.
The message of the kids movie. What? You should. You don't think that? You think that's bad? To protest?
To protest violently?
Man, this is a touchy subject, huh? And Black Adam touches on it big time by saying
The Rock says it's okay. So if he says it's okay.
That's right, because you have Hawkman be like, we don't kill people. And The Rock says, well, I fucking do.
And Hawkman says, me and you.
And I was waiting for the conversation to happen where it's like, hey, just don't kill anybody. And The Rock's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't. Never happens. The guy just starts ripping people apart. He's throwing them left and right, but they're bad guys he's killing.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about these heroes? Because typically movies like this, especially in a movie that is a solo superhero, supervillain, or anti-hero movie, it introduces one or two characters, but this introduced a whole other team.
It's about fucking time.
And so, what were your thoughts on that? On them introducing a whole other team in this solo film?
I like how we don't need a Disney Plus show for everybody. I like how we could just make some people that don't need a show up.
Mm-hmm.
You could just introduce Ant-Man and Doctor Strange and Falcon and Storm. You could introduce them all here.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them. And I like the team. I really liked the most Hawkman, which I was surprised by because I saw I think a picture of him or a clip of him somewhere, and the costume looked goofy to me. I was like, I'm not gonna like this. I think the actor's name is Aldous Hodge. I think his name is really good in this movie. He's actually a really good actor, and I was surprised to see him in here. I had no idea he was Hawkman until this movie, but thought he was cool. Thought Pierce Brosnan was cool until he died, and then I thought the Netflix kid. He's in like all the Netflix.
Oh, Atom Smasher.
Yeah, he's that guy. He was fine. He was fun.
Yeah.
And then I guess the girl was my least favorite. She didn't have as much to do or say as the others.
Yeah.
But
they gave her a nice little they teased at a little origin for her, which I really liked. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, she's probably abused as a kid and got hit by a meteor that gave her powers and.
A meteor? No, they experimented on her.
I'm just making it up. Oh. It's either experimenting or you get hit by a meteorite and then you got powers.
Yeah, well, the only reason I bring this up is because, for me, it's the same. She was the least likable to me, but I did appreciate that, they did have downtime for these heroes that we have nothing, we don't know anything about them, that they explain some of their backstories, because it's like you said, I like that they did that. We don't need a whole show or movie to push these guys in. We could see them in this movie, then we'll see them in another movie, and you sprinkle their origin. We got some of Dr. Fate's. Dr. Fate's it's a helmet, and it came from space, and it like came down and shit. You don't know much, but that's all you need to know, and you know that niggas can't touch that shit. You touch it, you fucked.
Not in this movie.
Yeah.
But we'll get to it.
Yeah, Yeah, and then the girl, she was experimented on. She had nanobots in her, and so that's what she's controlling. And then Atom Smasher, he's picking up the mantle from his father, which the father is the guy from, I only know him from Holes. As
I forget that actor's name, but he's a fun guy.
Yeah, it's a fun dude. I like that. As for the heroes themselves, I thought that they did well on each and every one. It added a whole new layer to the movie for me, which is what, arguably, at least for me, the best part of this movie was when this team comes into first contact with Black Adam. And that whole sequence of them just like being in this city trying to make peace with this guy is like, I think, a 30-40 minute segment. And that whole time it's just like, this is fire for me. Atom Smasher, I forget the girl's name. Dr. Fate, Hawkman, just like you said, I thought I was not gonna like him. They gave him the most textured character development in this movie. It was really cool, and did a what do we call it? Full one, kind of 180 in regards to Dr. Fate being the guy, as if you know the comics, like he knows everyone's limit, like when they're gonna go. And so we get like these premonitions of Hawkman, Hawkman.
Again, I hate how unoriginal these people are with the names.
They were made back in like the 60s.
But that's still all you could do. Like, no one said, name him Eagle or Hawk, then Hawkman. Or, I don't know, the golden bird. See, this is why I'm not in the industry, because I don't come up with anything. But if you're in the industry, you could come up with more than Hawkman, I would say. It's like a second grader in the fucking office.
I like Dr. Fate.
I like him too. I like every time these other people are on
the
screen.
name.
Oh, the name. Yeah, it's a cool name. Because by their standards, you should be Gold Helmet Guy. By the way they named the other people.
Doctor Strange.
Cool, yeah.
I don't know who was made first, because a lot of these heroes from DC and Marvel, like they're like mirrored.
Yeah, that's what I heard. From what I know, I feel like DC did them first.
Yeah, I think DC did them first, and then Marvel.
But Marvel made the movies first, so now what really matters? I don't know, because I feel like that's hard to go into this movie and not be like, oh, is that Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Doctor Strange. It's like all the same.
And when people start comparing them, that's the first thing they think about. It's like, oh, that's Ant-Man. He was way better. That's what led to the whole Quicksilver thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what started it all. Was fucking X-Men Days of Future Past did Quicksilver segment, and
did it better.
Yeah. And then Marvel was like, well, we're gonna do Quicksilver, and so people were like, oh, the Quicksilver from this one was better than that Quicksilver. So now it's like, oh, Atom Smasher's a better Ant-Man than Ant-Man. It's its own thing. It's its own thing. Prepare for its own thing.
But I think they all carry the movie. I think the movie really slogs down when they're not involved. I think if they're not in the movie, I really, really, really don't like this movie.
We walked out of that movie theater, and you said that you liked the twist.
Oh, I did like how it's rare that a superhero movie twist gets me.
I think Chase likes this more than what he's making it out to be, because you said that it was
I had a fun
bad
time.
movie.
I had a fun time. I just think there's so many things that made me go, oh my God, here we go. This is not for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun things in it. Maybe it's like an okay movie. Maybe it's more okay than terrible, but
he did
I'm telling
say
you,
liked
every
twists.
time the Justice Society is not on screen, I think The Rock has a good character here.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he's got a great supporting cast around. Like, everyone that's not a superhero in this movie, I did not really buy into all that much.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole first like half hour, is probably when before the other heroes show up.
Yeah.
I was like really sitting there like, man, this is gonna be a slog.
Yeah.
And every time they're not there, I also feel like it's kind of a slog. But as soon as they're in there and it feels like their movie, I have a better time with it.
Yeah.
But I still like The Rock's character here. I think he was fun. I think he was humored enough where it was a fun character to watch. I'm excited to see him interact with other heroes, but also I'm not walking out like, yeah, I definitely need Black Adam too.
Yeah.
But he's a character I would like to see a lot in the new DCEU.
Yeah, I'll agree with you when it comes to it. I very much had the feeling with this movie as I do with Warner Brothers Monster Universe in regards to like Godzilla and such. I don't give a shit about the humans, but the people. And with this movie, it was such a climactic, like superhero, anti-hero, supervillain movie. Because if you really think about it, you have an anti-hero, and you have like 5 superheroes, and then you have like a super villain. And so you have all that going on. I don't care about your fucking kid raising a skateboard to help out these goddamn skeletons to help out 5, 6 superheroes. It just doesn't make sense. So I get what you're coming from with that. And yeah, the first 20, 30 minutes, it was a slog because it was pretty bad writing to project the plot. And, it's just this fucking kid, man, on this goddamn skateboard. That shit irked me every single moment of the day. And the kid has like this tangible relationship with this god. Wasn't really a fan of that, but I suppose. Black Adam finally shows up, and then that puts a blip onto the U.S. government's radar, and then they send in the Justice Society, and then it starts picking up because we start losing sight of the humans. We don't give a shit. You have the fucking big guy in a van pulling up to some Rocky Mountains for some ancient relic, playing "Baby Come Back." It was very Marvel humoristic. Which not to knock Marvel humor, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for this and for the setting and for the tone and for how it looked, I just wasn't expecting it to be that. So I get where you're coming from with that, and I can agree on that point with you.
The action was fun though. It had good action for the things you want the movie to deliver on. I feel like it does a good enough job delivering on. I think I like the setting. I thought I would get tired because every fight scene pretty much happens in not Talocan, in what is it called?
Kondak.
And I thought it would get a little old, but it ended up being cool. And you brought up there's a twist in this movie that actually got me.
Yeah.
That it was actually The Rock's son that got the powers.
Yeah. It was 2 twists. The first twist, which I was familiar with both. I forget what it was that they got me on. I was like, oh, that was kind of interesting. But the first one was that, the gods imbued him with the powers. So that was not the case. It was the gods trying to take away his powers because he ended up stealing them. And then the second twist was, oh yeah, he stole them. He didn't steal them more so than it was just his son giving it to him. So I thought that was interesting. It had layers to it. It wasn't just one final like twist. There was like layers to it, and as you know, I might be even kind of analyzing this too deeply, but for good writing and for like David Fincher movies and things like that, specifically David Fincher, it's like those twist on a twist on a twist kind of thing. So for this, I like that they did that. They didn't have to. It could have just been, I took it from my son, and the guys trying to steal away from me. But mid-movie, they explained that he is not the savior that these people think that he is. And then towards the ending, it is then revealed that it wasn't that he took them, more so than it was just his son giving it to him to save him. And then his son just so happened to die, and he took vengeance out on the whole city. So you give the character empathy. So there was layers to it, and I really appreciated that.
I like empathy for killing. It makes it fun.
They didn't do it in Halloween Ends.
They didn't. And there's some empathy for the DC fan base.
That was empathy done right for a person who kills, just so you know. Fucking universal.
And the empathy for the DC fans is here at the end credits.
Which I admittedly was spoiled.
So was I.
I think
everyone was pretty much spoiled. The Rock was promoting it before the movie came out. He said, "Yeah, Henry Cavill's in the end credits. Can't wait to fight him."
Yeah, and I know that there's some big, huge Superman fans out there that probably went ape shit. Just stepping back, it would have been a great surprise. I wouldn't have probably been like, "Oh shit," but from me, but that's great.
I would have been a little surprised. I would have been a little excited because I feel like Henry Cavill's been so shelved to the side.
Yeah.
Man of Steel came out in 2013.
And it's
9 years old.
It's still one of the best DC movies that they've made.
Oh, for sure. And the fact that it hasn't gotten like a proper sequel of just a Superman movie is kind of crazy at this point.
No, I will take that back. I would have been excited because I guess with Henry Cavill, especially with only other than Man of Steel, his other Superman iterations, I'm not a big fan of. But just the idea of having Black Adam fight Superman, super stoked about and I think I explained this to you and Adam walking out the theater, that the only people who really rival Superman, like Black Adam's a really big arch nemesis to Superman, because Black Adam is magic based and Superman's only two weaknesses is kryptonite and magic. So it's taken Superman. I think Black Adam's even killed him at some point. So that's an interesting fight to see. That and Shazam, which we're getting Shazam Fury of the Gods, which I really don't want to watch. Mind you, I did not want to watch Black Adam. I was convinced. And so I did.
You didn't like the first Shazam? I like the first Shazam. Second one, I don't watch shows. I listen to them while I'm in the theater. It sounds pretty bad. I like the first Shazam because it knows what it is. It feels like Home Alone, but a superhero movie.
Exactly. No, I liked it. The second one though.
Yeah, from what I heard, I was like, this doesn't sound as great as I hope. But I felt that same way about the first time I saw the first trailer for Shazam. So I skipped it in theaters and I watched it over quarantine. I was like, I actually like this.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
But apparently, from what I've heard in the mill, is they don't plan on having Black Adam collab with Shazam.
That was false.
Okay.
Apparently, Dwayne Johnson didn't want to show up in Shazam because he's like, I want my own movie first, and then we could.
Gotcha.
That was more the
thing.
Because
Shazam, Superman, Black Adam movie, James Gunn. You know how Marvel does it. Bring it to DC, just make it a little darker, and you guys will make some profit.
My only fear is,
fire.
Are they going to make the mistake of doing all this again too soon? Because it's like, I kind of just want a Superman movie by itself again, Because the whole thing with Superman the first time was, now he's already fighting Batman. Right. It almost happened too quick. I hope they don't do that again, where it's all too quick, And
I would argue that maybe they should hold off, but they are losing right now. And they need something to bring us in, and that will for sure put my ass in that seat.
You wouldn't just be there for just a Superman 2?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I
think that everyone should have. I think Black Adam was a great intro. Shazam has the second one. Superman has the second one, and then Black Adam's second one would be him going against maybe something like that.
I don't know. I thought it was cool that they acknowledged, okay, we got Henry Cavill, because if you don't know, Warner Bros. Was bought out last year by Discovery, so David Zaslav's in. He really said, why are we making shit DC movies? That was the whole reason Batgirl got completely scrapped. He's like, we're done with this. We are taking this seriously. We're giving people what they want. Hired in James Gunn and Peter Safran, which I think are, if you can't have a Kevin Feige, where Kevin Feige could do both, it's good to have the business guy and the creative guy to fuse in. So I'm excited to see Henry back. I think he is a good Superman. I actually do like Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where they go with the character. I think this movie's fine. The more we talk about it, I'm like, there's a lot of fun stuff, but I still think there's too many cheesy song choices, and it feels like it almost feels like, because I get guilty pleasures, I like these movies more actually than Black Adam, the Transformers movies, the Michael Bay ones. Mm-hmm. The first three, I think, are a fun time. Maybe it's nostalgia bait. I don't know. But I look at those movies, I'm like, damn, those movies were fun. They're bad for sure, but they're fun. Mm-hmm. Black Adam is in that type of category. I don't like the Black Adam movie as much as the Transformers movies, those first three, but it's in that same category, and it wasn't terrible like the first Suicide Squad.
You like the fight sequences, action sequences?
Yeah, when the action shows up, it's fun.
Like when he's moving in slow motion.
When it got too Snydery, I didn't really like it.
No?
No. There was too much like, hey, we still want to be Zack Snyder movies. And I was like, let's stop. It's a little 2008, you know?
Okay.
But overall, I had a decent time with it. I didn't expect to say that.
Okay.
I thought I was really going to hate it. So I don't know if you have any closing thoughts about it.
My only thing that I would like to say is I want to give credit where credit is due with Dr. Fate, man. You guys did and I also looked up comments and people's reviews and such on it, and I agree with each and every one of them. That is the most accurate iteration probably of any hero that they've ever done. Dr. Fate, as he was in that movie, was as he is in the comics. So kudos to you guys for doing that. I thought he was a great character. It's kind of sad.
Feels like a waste that they killed him.
That your most well-adapted superhero and the coolest one had him going, holy shit, that's a little tough.
Yeah.
Coming from a superhero like movie. And y'all killed him. So, I don't understand why that was made to be like that, but I very much see that the whole purpose of introducing the Justice Society of heroes that you don't know is that you make all of them, if not some of them, expendable. But don't know why you made him expendable. That was a good character. But he is Dr. Fate. He might come back. So we'll see. So that was it. That's all I wanted to say on that. As for my thoughts in record to the rating for this movie, if we wanted to go to the ratings.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to give this.
While you're thinking, I know what I got.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a 5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Oh, okay. So you really like it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. You know, I do like the parts I like.
5. You gave it an average.
Yeah, so 5 to me is fine. 5 is usually had a good enough time. Whereas the action was really fun. Dwayne Johnson was fun. Justice Society fun. There's just so many things in this movie, like the kid
6.5,
and that whole
fucking
story,
kid.
that whole part of it just really bogs it down. And the needle drops I don't like.
Yeah, I'll dock it the half point because of the kid. 6.5, dude. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool.
Now, Black Adam isn't the only black named superhero movie out right now, DJ.
The nigga movie.
We're going to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting movie.
I want to preface something.
Go for it.
I told Adam this. I needed to tell you this because I was waiting to get on the podcast. My review for this will not be 100%. I will say off the bat, there will be, you're going to have to fill me in on some stuff. My girlfriend, I went to go see her with my girlfriend last night. I ordered us 2 strong drinks. You look like you're...
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were late. Okay.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
hell no.
Okay.
I ordered 2 strong drinks, one for me, one for her. She took a sip and said, you can have the rest. I said, well, fuck yeah. I didn't know how strong those drinks were. There was crystal vodka. It's like 3 shots per drink.
You went to AMC, right?
Yeah, so I basically had like
AMC
6
makes
shots.
good drinks.
So that first 40 to 50 minutes, like the whole thing of like, Everett Ross kept asking, well, just tell me what's going on. And she was like, no, blah, blah, blah. And it was because Namor had dirt on her. Like, if you tell anyone, I'm going to kill your
Namor just didn't want to be revealed. He wanted to stay secret.
So
that was his thing.
Well, my thing, I was like, why the fuck isn't he telling? She was like, because, like, but it happened on the second contact. And he was like, if you tell anyone, I'm going to kill your daughter. So that first act was a little wonky for me.
Okay.
But I do have some thoughts with what I can recall. And so we'll talk about them. Because I was like, whoa, bro.
Yeah, the Marvel logo is silent. And DJ's like, damn, this drink's good. God, you got my 4th shot.
No, actually, when that Marvel logo went and it was silent, I out loud went, these motherfuckers. Because I was like, damn, dude, I know this is going to hit a little hard for people. I heard people fucking sobbing and shit. I was like, damn. But I'll let you kick this one off.
Okay, sounds good. I think I should start with saying Ryan Coogler, I'm really impressed by. I think he's one of the better directors working today for sure. I did think Black Panther was the weakest of his 3 movies. If we're talking Fruitvale Station, which is really good. Creed, probably my favorite. I'm a right out Philly, grew up, so of course I'm going to love Creed. Black Panther I thought was okay, But I feel that way about pretty much every Marvel movie. You know, there's some that are better than others. I think a lot of people love Black Panther and put in like their top 5 MCU. To me, it was always just fine, but that's where I put most of the Marvel movies.
Right.
And then, obviously, this movie has a huge challenge it had to surmount because Chadwick Boseman is no longer here.
Rest in
Very
peace.
sad. It was. I'll never forget that day.
Me either.
I went back to the movie theater because it just opened, and I watched New Mutants. And I was watching it, and I said, "This day can't get any worse." And then I leave the theater. I check my phone, and it says Chadwick Boseman dies at 40, whatever.
Hold on, didn't his passing happen like right at the start of COVID?
No, it was like halfway through. I think it was around. That was New Mutants was probably around like August-ish of 2020. So it was like during COVID, but it wasn't like when it first started.
Yeah.
So I remember being like, damn, that's crazy. So that whole thing happened, and obviously everyone's wondering, like, what do you do with Black Panther? There's a lot of people that believe you should have recast the character. There's a lot of people that think they should have did what they did. Before we even get into the movie, before we even had the knowledge of seeing the movie now, do you think they should have recast, or do you think... I'm with you.
Absolutely not. No. It would have been... It's like if they recast Paul Walker. And it's like, what? No,
Yeah.
Don't do that. I think... with how they did it, it was, we'll go more into it, but definitely either passing the mantle or just excluding the mantle altogether was the move. People saying, oh, recast him. I feel like those people who said to recast him would have seen it and then been like, Chadwick, for one, you would have just been comparing. Like, Chadwick Boseman did it best. Kind of like how we compare the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, to Heath Ledger's passing. People cannot separate that it is a different iteration of the Joker. Like, there is no Joaquin Phoenix's performance is belittled to Heath Ledger's Joker,
and those two are two also
they're
separate
solid.
characters.
Yeah,
they're not trying to be the same exact.
They're not.
Character.
They're different iterations, different adaptations, and people who say recast it, they're always going to be wrong in the aspect that when they do get what they want, they're not going to critique it for what the character is and for what the writing for that character is supposed to be. So I think it would have just caused problems. And for those who didn't want it to be recasted, if it was, they would have been like, this is a huge disrespect to the character and to what he brought forth to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and to Chadwick Boseman's legacy. So I thought that they went the right route and not recasting him.
I agree. And I thought it was going to be a challenge no matter what, but I was surprised when I found out how soon this movie was coming out because he passed away in 2020.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a 2-year turnaround of a movie that literally lost its star and the movie's out.
Yeah.
So that alone, as fucked up as it might sound, I mean it in the most like genuine way. I was always so curious what this movie was going to be because I didn't know.
Yeah.
What I thought, like, there was a chance maybe they do some sort of Hunger Games of people trying to become the new Black Panther. I had no idea what you do with this because it is such a challenge. And I think this movie alone proves that Ryan Coogler is super talented because I don't know how you make such a rushed movie, losing your main star and your main character, and still come out with something this good. I think this is a good movie. Don't think it's one of their best Marvel movies. Like, I think there's probably 5 to 10 that I would probably put up there. I might be in the minority with saying this. I prefer it to the first Black Panther. I think, but the thing that makes it a better movie overall than the first Black Panther is the fact that Chadwick Boseman isn't there, and Coogler does such a good job of paying tribute to him in this movie. And it almost forced Marvel's hand to do something I've been wanting them to do for a while, is like, you don't have to be dark and gritty, but take yourself more seriously. And there are a couple jokes in this movie when it's needed, but it was perfectly placed in an overall serious movie. And I've been wanting that from Marvel movies for a while. And this movie probably wouldn't be as serious if it wasn't in the situation that we were in. But it made me finally go, thank God we're taking these movies like serious and not pulling a She-Hulk or Thor: Love and Thunder and going that route. So overall, I did like the movie, mainly because it was the first movie that felt more up my alley for Marvel in a while. So overall, I liked it. We'll dive deep. What is your initial impression?
I liked it. I wouldn't go as far as to say that I loved it. I think I'm in the same hole as that you're in. there were bits and pieces of that movie, at least for me, whether if it was me being tipsy for the first act or not. Again, it was just that first act, but it felt long.
It definitely
any
felt long.
movie that for me feels long, I feel like that there is room for critique. But definitely how they paid homage to Chadwick, in the aspect of, well, first off, it's like what you said. I didn't know how they were going to handle that. I didn't know how they were going to progress. And I was like, what are they going to do? In the first opening moments of that movie, going into it, I thought that they were just going to skip right to he's gone, like he's passed away. But they actually have this whole sequence at the beginning of the movie where he is going through a disease. Whether if that plays into his real life, struggles with what he had, or just for the movie. I thought that was cool. And then right there, it announces, yeah, he's gone. And then it cuts to the Marvel logo and it's silent. It's like, fuck. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was a very nice way, especially with the acting. The acting in this movie, these actors and actresses have something they have somewhere to come from. So it's almost as if like when they're going through those moments of mourning his death and there isn't any Black Panther and they're getting upset and they're going through the motions of accepting his death, you can almost feel that it's not even the character more so than it's just the actor or actress just mourning his passing. So it had a lot of weight and depth to it. It was definitely something to overcome in aspect of writing. And I commend the people over at Marvel Studios for, on a short span and period of time, to still make this work, because it goes more than just the Black Panther movie. I'm sure they had to repivot and rechange they said they have plans all the way until 2028. So when he passed, I said, damn, they're going to have to repivot that whole entire plan of like how this is going to go.
I'm sure he was going to lead the Avengers too. Like he would probably be the most clear choice,
Yeah. So, kudos to them, man, for making this work. Yes, there is critiques and there are things that I feel could have been better, but mad props and respects for pushing out what you guys pushed out, and for paying respect to Chadwick and his late passing, and for making it work. So I thought overall, my general thoughts and consensus before we dive into details, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
and let's dive in. I think go for it.
What is your thoughts on Shuri picking up the mantle? I'm just gonna jump straight into it.
So there's a lot of debate if Shuri is the worthy pick, even though I think there's some sort of spec scripts out there of what the original Black Panther 2 was supposed to be, and how over time the idea was eventually Shuri would take it up. It's just 10 years earlier, and you kind of have to make that change now. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. A lot of people were debating who should take the Black Panther role, and I was someone, I kind of forgot about Black Panther. I forgot Lupita Nyong'o was a character in the franchise, if I'm being honest. I saw the Black Panther once and kind of forgot about it. A lot of people thought she should do it. A lot of people thought Winston Duke M'Baku should have done it. And then there was what's the general's name? She's Michonne on Walking Dead. What's the character's name or the actress's name?
Whoop, 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 whoop,
yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
So there's a lot of debate. One of them should have got it, but I think for the movie, it fits. I think Letitia Wright, what she did really good in this movie. I did not like her character in Black Panther. She was one of the reasons I actually disliked Black Panther more than I wanted to, was because it still felt Marvelish, and she felt like the most Marvel goofy character. The what are those? Like that to this day is probably the most eye-rolling part of a Marvel movie for me. So immediately I was like, God, I can't stand this. And I liked how in this movie they didn't keep her goofy. It was very much reminiscent of real life. Everything's all good in real life. You're goofy, you're super charismatic. The second you lose pretty much everyone important to you, your act changes. You are a matured, serious person. You're a different person.
Which they even say, and Baku goes up to her and says, I'm not going to call you a kid anymore when someone's lost so much.
Yeah.
So they really made her like a very vengeful. That was something I was telling Adam last night is, typically for these sort of movies, specifically Marvel and their formula, is that, they're prepping and such, and the hero has vengeance in their heart, and they realize in the midst of war and the people who they are trying to represent and save that maybe fighting isn't the way. They did that same thing, but they executed it. They had a different execution for it in the aspect of the conversation that she has with M'Baku. And Baku's trying to talk her out of like, hey, this isn't the way. And I'm thinking that she's going to understand. And she goes, no, we are going to war. I'm going to kill him and you're going to do what I say. And I went, oh. Mm-hmm. So they made her like a fucking general. And then we finally get it, but only after when she has him like at his neck. And it's not, oh, this isn't the way. It's more so like a, you know, we're going to get along because I'm the leader of my nation. You're the leader of your nation. And I'm going to show you mercy. And as a result, we're going, for the sake of our people, we're going to get along. And I really like that. It's not your stereotypical, like, I can't do it, you know, and you show, what's it called? You show weakness. Like our hero shows weakness in the aspect of mercy towards the antagonist or the person that they're trying to get rid of. It was like a mercy kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna let you up. We're gonna be good because if I wanted to, I could kill you. So I kind of like that. And you know, those little minor changes to her character that we see throughout this film, so in such contrast from her first iteration from the first Black Panther, I really like the direction that they took with her.
Yeah, I thought she was great. I thought she did good as a Black Panther. I'm excited to see more of her. Now she's at the goofiest of the characters.
Yeah, my initial thought in regards to who I thought should have picked it up, and I was on the fence about it. I was like, maybe not, maybe so. But Michael B. Jordan, I know that he's dead. I know that he's dead. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you do have the ancestral plane. You do have this multiverse thing. I was like, Michael B. Jordan could pick it up. I think he would be a great successor to the Black Panther. And because of Chadwick's Black Panther's passing, that maybe he comes to it. But then I was like, no, because then that goes against his whole character development from the first one. But I was just thinking more so like who could pick it up.
And then I also feel like if Michael B. Jordan was the new Black Panther, it kind of ruins what I like about this movie. I like how everyone's grieving through it and everyone doesn't want to be in this situation.
Yeah.
And you're forcing a character like Shuri to jump into that and become that Black Panther character. So
yeah, so I like how they took it. I like how they did with it.
Angela Bassett, who plays the Queen, his mom, kills it in this movie.
Yeah.
They're saying she might be the first MCU actor to get a nomination.
I am the leader of a nation.
And I would gladly
who has lost everyone. Mm-hmm. What more? I forgot her monologue, but that was a cool monologue.
Yeah, she was great in this movie. She made the theater shut the fuck up when she was giving that speech.
Yeah.
So I thought she was absolutely incredible.
And they didn't shy away from killing anybody, which is what I told my girlfriend when I went to go see it. I was like, I even said it kind of as like, man, we don't need for anyone to die. Kind of joking, kind of serious. We don't need anyone to die. We already have too much with Chadwick going. But they still found the time to kill someone of importance to us. And it's like, damn. So now we have to deal with this. Another person leaving. So yeah, that was, her character was really good. Her acting was really good. The way that she led things and something that Black Panther introduced was, of course, Wakanda and the culture. And they continued to show that culture. I feel that they bounced around a lot. You know, they showed Wakanda. And then what's the name of the city? The underwater city?
Talokan. I know this one.
Yeah, now he knows it.
Not the other one. Not Black Adam.
You got Talokan. You got Wakanda. Then we go to Haiti. Then we go to Mexico. It was a bit much, but it was all right. It wasn't too much. I just felt like, and then you have Everett Ross in America. It was bouncing around a lot. Something that my girlfriend did catch because this was in the first act and I wasn't catching it. In retrospect, to just a side note to mention, the music, anytime that it had to deal with Namor, which they give the origin of his name, and I was like,
I liked it.
Okay, that makes sense.
I liked it.
Yeah, no mi amor, no amor, Namor. All right, that's not how it is, but that's a great iteration to adapt it to the cinema. Anytime he was on camera, anytime I had to deal with his people, it was like Spanish Spanish music, and then anytime it was Wakanda, it was the tribal kind of Wakandan music. So I thought that was cool. Kind of bringing that to light in the aspect of what I just said of it bouncing around. You at least followed where you were, even at a subconscious level of like what music was playing, and I thought that was cool. No amor.
Well, let's talk about Talocan.
They showed slavery, bro.
They did. And they showed
That
a little
was
kid
wild.
fucking up the slave owners.
That was crazy. For a Marvel movie, I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's Coogler's touch coming in, though.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Coogler's filmmaking as talent of a storyteller definitely shows in this movie compared to a lot of the other Marvel directors. Just from the sheer fact of the scene where they introduce the Talocan people. Like on that ship where they're trying to mine for the vibranium. Mm-hmm. They send the two people underwater in the super dark water. I was scared. I was like, damn, I'm feeling the tension right here. Mm-hmm. Marvel doesn't get me scared like that. And I don't think they even really try. And if they do, they fail at it. But I just felt the tension of that. And as soon as these people start popping up and fucking everybody up, I was like, man, how the fuck is Wakanda going to win this, huh?
Yeah.
They were super. That whole sequence was awesome. And then you get the one guy that's in the air, I guess it was Namor, just throws the helicopter into the ocean.
Yeah. Namor, if I'm always gonna give you my comic lore. Namor was one of two the original created by Jack Kirby, was the original creator of Marvel Comics. It was him and it was the Human Torch. They were the first ever created superheroes.
Oh shit, really?
Of Marvel Comics. Yeah.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
So going into this, I was like, Namor is like strong as fuck. You can argue that he is another Superman of the MCU, but he's underwater. And they really showed that in his introduction where he's just flopping around this helicopter. I was like, oh shit. Now there is something that I discussed with Adam that I did not like. The wings.
I like the wings. I like how he just kicks his feet up. When he does that one, he goes and punches.
You liked the wings?
I like the wings. I thought they were cool. I thought they were so goofy, but cool. Well, and then when she rips off the one, I said, oh my God.
Well,
it's gotta hurt.
Here's the interesting thing. Do you think he has wings in the comics?
Probably not. Maybe he does. Not. Okay.
And that was something that he was like, really? And I can see that like,
I just assumed it was such a comic booky thing.
That they kept it. That is something that they entirely added for the film. So when I saw it, I was like, why? Why does he have fucking wings? And when Shuri rips off one of them, out loud, I went, rip them fucking shits off. And so I thought what they were going to do is that they just introduced him with wings.
And then
Shuri rips them off. And then now he's like the Namor we know. I think he still has them. Maybe they regrow. I'm not a fan of these Mario cap wings that he has on his goddamn feet. But no, they made him to be this very strong representative general for his people in an underwater city, which I really liked. And it was just as we did world building for Wakanda, they did world building for this city. And that was the big thing for this movie when it was announced before Chadwick's passing, is that one of Wakanda's biggest enemies is Atlantis, like this underwater city, and they always have these quarrels. So it was supposed to just be like this very political movie that we envisioned. And that's very much what we still got. And you just have these two top leaded nations just heading on in secrecy. The whole thing with Everett Ross intervening or trying to intervene.
That's Martin Freeman, right?
Yeah, Martin Freeman. I almost said Morgan Freeman. Everett Ross and that whole C plot with him trying to figure it out. I feel
what are we doing with Julie Louis-Dreyfus?
That's what I was gonna say.
Why does she keep popping up?
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's going.
It's a waste of time.
Tie into. No, it's not, boy.
It's a waste of time in this movie.
Nah, I can tell you
as long as it is.
When Thunderbolts comes out. Oh man,
I'm gonna be like, man, why the fuck do we put her in every single thing?
Yo, they're really sprinkling her, and the guy who plays Red Guardian. What's his name?
David Harbour?
Yeah, David Harbour. He said that there's a huge bombshell drop for Thunderbolts. And that is the movie I cannot wait for, dude.
Okay.
But the thing with Everett Ross, I don't know. I maybe that's why it felt long to me. I don't know. We didn't really need to have that. But kind of moving forward as well, what were your thoughts on Riri Williams, aka Ironheart.
Well, let me backtrack for a second. Give my opinion on Martin Freeman, who was there and wasted time, and he gets the beads and he makes a call and then he gets arrested and he gets let out. It's like, okay, then why did we just waste our time if this has no significance whatsoever?
Yeah.
So that was annoying.
Yeah.
2, Namor, thought was an awesome character.
Yeah.
Liked him a lot. I think Tenoch, whatever his name is, the actor. He's like 42 years old.
Yeah.
Looks good for 42, man. I hope I look a third of that way when I'm 42. But absolutely kills in this movie. Thought he was menacing. Thought he was a presence to be felt. I thought the same thing. I was like, this motherfucker's Superman. Like, how's Kang going to defeat this guy? I don't know.
Did you hear how he got the role? He went on with, who was it? Jimmy Kimmel, I think. And Ryan Coogler personally called him. It wasn't even Kevin Feige. It was Ryan. So this was Ryan's pick. And he's a Mexican actor working out of Mexico. And Ryan Coogler called him on a Zoom call. And he's like, yeah, I want to pitch this. And he's like, okay. And according to what he said in the interview, like 5 to 10 minutes of the Zoom call was just on pause. So like it like froze and then it came back on. And Ryan Coogler was like, so what do you think? And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then he found out afterwards that he was handpicked by Ryan Coogler to play Namor in Black Panther.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But
he absolutely slams the role.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool character, great performance. I feel like with so many characters getting introduced in Phase 4, there's so many that I'm like, I don't really care right now. But there's a good amount where I'm like, I can't wait to see this person again. Namor is definitely high on that list with like Moon Knight for me of people I want to see incorporated more. He was absolutely awesome. Riri Williams.
My apologies for jumping straight to Riri Williams because you're right. There is a lot to talk about Namor.
Yeah,
unprofessional of me. What did you think of? I want to talk about. What is the military of Wakanda? I always forget the name.
Darmalage. Yeah,
like that. That for me, those girls
kick ass.
Those women were the highlight of the. Anytime that fucking song comes on, when the military are infiltrating, which we found out that it was France, they infiltrated the Wakandan reserve for vibranium. I'm like, damn, man, they look like pussies now. What's going on? And then they're just kicking out. I was like, yo, these women are fucking wild.
When they came out of that vault, I said, damn.
Yeah, man. So them and then the underwater city, their military army. I wanted to get your thoughts on that as well. And on both, after I've concluded this one, is that, they give the whole backstory of why they're blue, why they moved underwater, that, they have like, I guess these masks. The thing, which was also brought to my attention by my girlfriend, the whole thing of them singing. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And she was telling me that that's something, I don't know about folklores and fairy tales and such that much, but mermaids, like there's a whole folklore of like they sing and it allures you. So that's what that was too. And I was like, that's scary. That whole sequence on that ship was scary as fuck. Like that they were just singing and niggas
extra
are just,
scary when you're 6 shots deep.
Yo, I was like, what is going on? And they're just walking off of the ship. So I like the character development of what we got of these people, of this city, and that Namor, the reasons why he's not blue, why he's stronger than the rest, because he's like half human, half this thing. And they're not even fully known yet. They're like mythical creatures. So what were your thoughts on all of that? The world building of this new city in a movie that is still world building their city, on the Damalage and all of that.
Yeah, I think Ryan Coogler did a good job of even fleshing out Wakanda more. I'll stay on Wakanda. I felt like in the first one he did a good job of showing you Wakanda, but I still felt like, oh yeah, it's just like a CGI city. Whereas this one, like when they're getting attacked from the ground level and they're like helping out all the citizens, I was like, okay, this feels more deeper into that. The Talcon stuff I thought was really cool. Some of it started to feel a little too long for me, like when Shuri and Namor are talking about everything. I was like, this feels a little bit long, but it was still cool. There's just so many like water things coming out. Avatar comes out next month, so I'm already getting a little watered out. But I think you take Namor out, I don't care. But I think Namor is such a strong character that I'm like, okay, I definitely like all this a lot. I thought the Talocan were fine. I did think they were menacing. I loved the fight scene on the bridge where what's her face, Michonne fights the big dude, and he hits her thing and it's ringing.
Yeah,
and there's no music. I really like that fight scene a lot. It was so well done. I was like, oh, she's dead. Like she's done. So that scene definitely really got me.
And then Lupita's character, I liked what she did in here as like, she's like the nation's spy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes to the village to find out more information on Namor. And she speaks in English, then speaks in Spanish, then speaks in their native tongue, and then later on speaks in Wakandan.
Yeah.
And then the subtitles are color coded.
I was going to say.
I thought that shit was so cool.
So well done.
Yeah.
It was one thing I forgot to mention I really liked. I loved them playing with the subtitles like that. Made it really, really like interesting, I thought.
That was dope. And then the Wakandans are like speaking their native tongue and they're like, oh, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, all that was good. But let's get to the Riri Williams.
Yeah, what were your thoughts?
Usually I'm kind of against just forcing a character into a movie to promote another thing. I guess Black Adam did to a degree, even though Black Adam doesn't have any planned projects at the moment with the characters that we saw. Mm-hmm. But I think we're in an era of Marvel, and this is the end of Phase 4, where Phase 4 was, I think a lot of people would agree, was the most mixed or just the worst of the 4. I feel like that's how a lot of people feel. And I think it was Disney maybe doing a little too much too soon with a lot of different characters. So I was always skeptical of all these shows coming out, especially when it's like Ironheart. What the fuck is Ironheart? Just it's Iron Girl. It's pretty much what it is. Mm-hmm. So I was interested to see what they would do. I liked this approach more, kind of like how Black Adam did. I like the approach of implementing a character into a movie first and then giving them a show versus the vice versa way. Even though I like Miss Marvel, I think it would have been cool to see Miss Marvel maybe before her show. Moon Knight, I would like to see maybe a bit before the show, but at the same time, each story has its own way of doing it. We'll see how they all play out after. But this made me get a lot more excited for her show. I'm much more interested. She might have been used a little too much in the movie, I think, more than I would like. I didn't think she had to be at the final battle or anything like that. But I love her introduction. Like, to me, making a first impression on me of a character is instantly whether I know I'm going to fuck with the character or not. Mm-hmm. I love when she takes this kid's phone and be like, you owe me money. He's like, I'm giving you the 800. She's like, no, it's a band now. It's a day late.
Yeah.
I loved her hustle introduction. The whole, I built my first car when I was 3 thing, I was like, let's fucking relax. You were shitting your diaper. You did not work on a car at 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But overall, I thought she was good in the movie. Didn't think she needed to be in the final fight, really. I think we could have just had her in that first half, and then she could have just gone back. But it does establish her connection with Shuri because they're the 2 little scientists that are like the more fun character, even though Shuri's less fun of a character now. But overall, I really liked the introduction. I could see why someone would think it's unnecessary to have her in the movie, but I liked it. But what about you?
Well, as you were talking, I also want to mention on the Namor thing real quick. Namor, I don't know if this was used lightly or if this was supposed to be a direct Easter egg, but Namor said that he's a mutant.
Yeah, he did.
That was interesting.
So did Kamala.
And Kamala Khan, yeah. So figured I was like, oh shit, he's a mutant. And going off of like the way that character should be introduced, from Marvel for a long time, that's how they did it. I don't know why, as of recently, they've changed that concept. Because like our introduction to Spider-Man in the MCU
was Civil War, and Black Panther was Civil War too.
Yeah, and Black Panther, exactly.
They were both in Civil War.
Spider-Man was in Civil War. Falcon was in Winter Soldier. It's just a dude that Cap just knew. So they've done it, but as of recently, these Disney Plus shows they're doing these things, and I agree with you. They should be introduced organically and as a subplot into the main plot of another film or series, and then they get their stuff fleshed out, as opposed to having them fleshed out fully to us and then being introduced. So I don't know, but it works for some heroes, it works for some stories, and others it does not. As for Riri Williams, I went in knowing everything about this character and going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so how are they going to do this? They got everything pretty much on the money. Riri Williams, I don't know how old she is in the movie. In the comics,
I think she said she was 19.
Okay, in the comics, she's like 14, attending MIT.
Gotcha.
She is like a fucking young prodigy, so smart that she ends up hacking a major industry of their technology, and then she is then pinpointed, and she's trying to kind of find her way around, like getting revealed by the person that's looking for her, and the person's finding the person that she hacked was Tony Stark. Tony Stark was like, "Who helped you?" And she's like, "Nobody. It was just me." And she's like, "Bitch, you smart. You know, you want to succeed me in the mantle of like, you know, I'll give you my technology. You can figure out how it all works." So in here, of course, we don't have Iron Man, and she even says it. I'm sure he's like, "Are you building? Like, is this Stark Industries stuff?" So they kind of alluded to that. She's older than she is in the comics, which I think works because I don't think we need a 14, 15-year-old. I like how she carried herself. I think the actress who plays her, especially with her writing, she was very funny. She was very down to earth. I thought I just liked her character. I personally liked her character and how she handled herself. The way that she was working on a suit similar to Iron Man's, and it was very reminiscent to Iron Man, the original, where he built the Mark I Iron Man suit. The CGI for that suit and for just her suits in general were wonky.
I thought the first suit was fine, like the one in the opening scene where they're getting hit by the police. The one at the end I thought was wonky.
Really?
The red one.
I thought the first one was worse, but whatever. Minor gripe. So yeah, no, I thought that was cool. I liked her character. I like what they did. I like that they show that she's like a hustler and that she's like, hey man, like I'm trying to just get home. I got class. You know, she was real. She was keeping it real. And I like that they did that with her. I definitely feel that was Ryan Coogler's like flair on that character, because they could have just made her another Shuri from Black Panther 1, where Shuri was just like this smart, kind of annoying, millennialistic kind of character, but they didn't make her like that at all.
Yeah.
As for 3 years old making a car, oh no, but you know, she's a prodigy.
There you go.
You got to exemplify.
You got to be in diapers and fix a Mustang.
Did she say 3 years old?
She said 3 years old. That was her quote. You go back. Maybe you were drunk.
Well, yeah, probably.
I was gonna say bold prediction for Ironheart that I was thinking about. You know who else goes to MIT in this universe? The Spider-Man kids, right? Like Zendaya and Ned. That was the whole point of the movie. He wanted them all to get to MIT, and then they get it in after that.
Isn't it like damn near confirmed on that? I don't know why the fuck that's the case. It's Sarah Bachan Cohen,
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, that guy.
Supposed to be Mephisto
in Ironheart.
Yeah, interesting.
Why?
We'll find out.
Mephisto, I've been talking about since WandaVision.
Everyone was.
I watched it with you, and I was like, Mephisto, yeah. Ironheart's where you can introduce him?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll find out. But I went from not caring about the show to being like, okay, like, I guess that's one of the ones I'm more interested in. I'm definitely most excited for Secret Invasion, I would say. But I'm interested in Ironheart now. So it did its job. If the job of her being in the movie was for me to get excited about the show, I would say it succeeded.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else in the movie.
I had a point, and it went out the window.
Well, while you do that, let's talk action, which, in my opinion, was actually the weakest part of this movie.
Yeah, it was very political.
Which I prefer. I don't need like a CGI fest all the time. I did like the fight on the bridge scene, like I mentioned before.
Yeah,
that was well done.
If you really want to cap it, it's literally, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it is that was the next point I was going to bring up, and I'll say it out loud so you can remind me. It's the dehydration.
Okay.
Of Namor.
Okay.
It was the bridge. I guess you can technically count the boat, but that wasn't really a fight. So the bridge, the infiltration of Wakanda, and then Wakanda
which
fighting
had cool
back.
Parts. Yeah,
that was
the Wakanda fighting back at the end. I didn't really like on the boat. I thought that was kind of underwhelming.
Really constricted like area to fight. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
I got the idea of let's blast their ears and fight them on the water, but also like, do you want to fight these people on the water?
Like, yeah, you have.
Isn't that how they get their powers?
That's their advantage.
Yeah, that part kind of confused me a bit.
And so on that note of real quick, of that's how they get their powers. Thought it was really cool that Shuri and Riri, they're like, Namor gets his abilities from the water, so like let's dehydrate him. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool. I just wanted to add that in there.
And I did like her and Namor's fight on the beach, even though it was kind of shorter than I wanted it to be. I thought like both of them being tired of shit and like still punching the fuck out of each other was cool.
And Shuri's seen Michael B. Jordan's character.
Yeah, didn't really.
No,
I thought it was fine. I mean, I like how Coogler was like, hey man, you've been in all three of my other movies. I gotta get you in the fourth one.
No, but it made sense though. You don't think?
I mean, I guess
because she's fighting out of vengeance, and that's why he was fighting.
Yeah,
if it wasn't out of vengeance,
it makes sense. But I was still like, yeah, it's fine.
I think you see it as they just wanted to put Michael B. Jordan in there.
A little bit,
not the organic.
But it does make more sense than usual. It's not like I don't like understand why it was like it does for the story make sense. I was still like, oh, okay, Michael B. Jordan's back, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, the fighting to me wasn't the best. I don't know. I just wasn't as excited by the action scenes as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I was much more interested in all the other like drama stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just like a minor gripe. I did not like the blue suits at the end. The Dora Milaje.
Oh, yeah.
Have cool suit. They got cool spears. You don't need a flying suit. We already have one Iron Man in this movie. Why do we need more?
Well, hold on. You can't think of it as Iron Man suits.
What do you mean? It's a robot suit that people are in.
No, they're suits that enable the Dora Milaje to have the home advantage of fighting the people in the water.
Yeah, it works like an Iron Man suit. It's got the little HUD on the. You see their face. It's an Iron Man suit. What else is it? It's not a Black Widow suit.
Well, because Wakanda's all about making outfits, and granted, that is such a coloration difference from what they typically wear. I don't know why the color scheme was red and gold to blue and gold, I guess to match the theme of water and such. But that's the thing, like they're a smart nation, so they build suits to give them the home advantage. So I didn't see it as that's another Iron Man suit, more so than it was just they're making a suit to give them to give them an edge in battle.
Yeah, it was fine.
I'm not a fan of how it
wasn't
looked.
even fine. I thought it looked bad, and it was like, they're cool enough.
I wasn't a fan with how it looked, and they continuously say it in there like, oh, I hate how it looks. I feel it could have been sleeker. It looked very bulky, but that's micromanaging it, and it was okay for me.
Then we got the ending and after credits, which I don't know how you feel about, but I think the after credits teases a lot more than what people expect.
Okay.
Because the whole debate of should we recast T'Challa or not was a big deal to people.
Right.
And Kevin Feige came out and said we weren't doing it because we knew it's too soon to do another T'Challa. So I think a lot of people are seeing this after credits scene where it turns out Lupita Nyong'o, this character Nakia, is that her name?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are interpreting it as, T'Challa and Nakia's son is just like a nice little tribute that Chadwick lives on, right? But the kid's name is T'Challa.
Right.
So my whole thing is if Marvel's in this whole planning phase of 15 years and everyone's got a kid, they said, hey, T'Challa's not done. T'Challa will still be the Black Panther. Just got to wait 10 or 15 years. That kid's going to end up being whoever actor they pick 10, 15 years from now is going to be the new Black Panther. Like the T'Challa Black Panther.
All right.
But which I think is cool because A, it gives people enough time to, grieve Chadwick, but it also opens the door to like this character that means a lot to people has to come back in some sort of form. I thought it was a sweet little nod.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
I didn't see it in that light. I think I fall into the boat of other people of like, okay, that's cool. But now that you mentioned that, yeah, his name is T'Challa. He's named after his father. And so very much, even if they do like a Young Avengers or something, that is going to be how they pass on that mantle. My phone just like rung. Unprofessional. So I'm okay with it, you know, which is kind of contradicting what I was saying earlier, but you know, there's always, I guess I'm looking at it as like a recasting down the line. Like, you know, Michael Myers. Shit movie. They will probably make a whole other Michael Myers origin with another actor and such. So for this immediate movie, no, do not recast them. But later on down the line, when people have calmed down from it, similar to Heath Ledger, you know, they ended up doing another Joker, another iteration. This will be another T'Challa, Black Panther iteration. That just so happens to be canon of him picking up the mantle from his father, which I think is a very endearing thing for them to do in their storytelling. So it doesn't really bother me. I think it's all right.
Or the kid is Doctor Doom, because everyone said Doctor Doom was going to be the after credits.
And that's another, that would have been sick.
Right?
Now that I think about it. Because the whole thing of Black Panther and like what they're building is that this is the introduction of nations not known. So if they would have introduced Latveria, that would have been dope.
Maybe Black Panther 3.
Maybe, man. When Doctor Doom gets introduced, shit is over with. And it sounds like we're coming to the conclusion of this. And before we do, last note, the music. Because that was a big thing for me in the first one was the music, and specifically Kendrick Lamar's, which is still timeless to this day. I think it's called All the Stars. Rihanna took on the track of this one. Was not a fan.
I thought it was just kind of like forgettable. Like to me, the first one's soundtrack was so every song was a banger, and this one kind of just like blended in. Like it's fine.
Yeah. The songs were okay. That was it. I think we've hit this movie up and all the other movies that we reviewed on every corner.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now the podcast is back.
Hold on now.
There's gonna be
wait.
What?
You didn't even give your rating yet.
That's true. I had to pee so bad again.
Damn.
We took a pee break. You didn't even see it.
Seamless.
I'll give this a 6 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Good movie. Oh, you're same as Black Adam.
Oh, hell no.
Does Black Adam go down to a 6? Well, you said Black Adam was 6.5.
Because it was 6.5. And it was fun.
Yeah. This is a better movie.
This one, 7 was kind of low.
This one was sad, not fun.
It was just felt long, man. I'm going to be seeing it again because I always drag my mom and my little brother to go see it. We're going to go see it in 4D. We're going to see how that experience
God bless. 2 hours, 40 minutes of 4D. Jesus Christ.
We're going to go see this. And I will be sober this time, maybe. Or maybe I might have another drink. It's just hard because that first act, man. So for now, I'm going to settle, and we'll see maybe in the next episode if I reevaluate it. I'm gonna bump it up another half point. I'm going to stay at 7.5, 7.5,
7.5. There you go.
7.5.
So that's how we feel about 3 fucking movies this week, huh?
A 1, a 6.5, and 7.5.
Yeah. So it's our first episode back. We'll probably be back after Thanksgiving. We're still figuring it out. We got crazy schedules. DJ won't be the only person you see on here. We got 2 more people we're going to be introducing you to.
Oh, yeah.
Let us know how you like the setup. We figured it out this morning. Took me like 4 fucking days to figure out how to use a soundboard.
Let us know what movies you want us to review. I think we should really review that Santa Claus movie when it comes out.
The David Harbour one?
Yes.
All right.
That's your Christmas review movie.
That'll definitely be coming because that shit's going to be crazy. We're taking this podcast very serious. I got all this equipment. This is a serious podcast now. This isn't a hobby. This is becoming the real deal. It's becoming the real deal.
Yeah.
So thank you for being with us in the beginning before this thing blows up over the next couple of years. This whole set will be changing eventually. You know, we'll be figuring it out, but this is the start. We got the real good audio now. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
You got anything to say, DJ?
I usually plug in my stuff at the ending, but I have a shit ton of new stuff to plug in, and I don't quite have that shit memorized because I have like a new Instagram with my portfolio work. I have a whole new, what was that noise?
My camera died. You can't see me now. It's a black screen.
That, and I have like a company and shit that I'm starting up. So in the next video, I'll plug it.
Sounds good. And you can't see me anymore. But we're coming back.
I'm Chase.
Yeah. I am done.